Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Lance here, and bringing you guys a video. I want to talk with you guys today about something that I used to battle all the time, and I want to help you to get over this because, unfortunately, the way that I felt about my mess-ups and the way that I felt about my slow progress was the very thing that was creating my self-sabotage. So I want to give you a couple of things that really helped me to finally get out of my own way and actually start getting so much more done. So one thing that I learned quite a while ago that is so amazing is simply this: slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So often we get so focused on trying to get things done so fast that we don't do things smooth. And so we trip over ourselves, we mess things up, and we end up beating ourselves up because we tried to rush through something. So the reality is that there are some key things that we need to make sure that we're focusing on to make sure that we don't self-sabotage. So often people are so focused on like the meal plans and all the external stuff that they forget about like the one biggest factor, and that's human emotion. Everybody's always worried about like what works and what's the best and what's this and what's that. And you guys are only focusing on like, if you have no emotion and you have no life and no like social things to worry about, then I could see you only being focused on the meal plan and the workout. But being that we are human, we do have emotion. We don't have a job that's like that we can't just like show up to and not care about. We have a job that we do care about that requires our attention, so on and so forth. And the fact is that this stuff matters. So nevertheless, I used to get so bummed out whenever I was working towards my fitness goals and I would see so much less than I'd hoped for. Or the other thing is that I would end up beating myself up, having like a mess up where I would get myself out of alignment just a little bit, and then I would start shaming myself, trying to get myself to do better the next time. Very first question is, can you relate? I thought so, because this is what I hear from so many clients, where they feel like they're doing good, and then as soon as they do something, in which case maybe they use a little bit of emotional eating, or maybe they just go off the rails for a day or so, they actually begin beating themselves up. And the reality is that the shame that you present yourself, the way that you treat yourself is actually going to be significantly worse for your journey than the mess up itself. So the fact is that I learned that how I felt about my mess ups and my desire to reach my big goals as fast as humanly possible was, again, the very thing that was leading to self-sabotage until I started to do a couple things. So here's the deal. What I want to tell you is that you cannot forget to cheer for yourself when you have small wins. But the thing of it is, you cannot cheer for yourself for them small wins if you're not looking for the wins. So these small wins are what's going to lead to bigger wins if you acknowledge that you're on the right path, okay? So what that means is that if you are starting off a brand new business and the only way that you're determining that this business is successful is if you're making $10,000 or $15,000 a month, that means that you didn't think to yourself, well, I've got 0 clients today or 0 customers. If tomorrow I get 3 new ones, then you're not considering that growth or you're not considering that improvement. That's what we do on a regular basis for our fitness. We basically do that same thing. What we do, though, is we do it with the scale. So it's going, I'm going to lose 30 pounds, and then unfortunately, we'll drop a pant size, we'll start breathing better, we'll throw out a medication, we're sleeping better, we're getting compliments, we're able to keep up. We've got all these freaking wins and we don't notice any of them. Why? Because the one win is the only thing we were focused on. And I didn't see the scale move yet. But guess what? You feel better, you're getting more confidence, you are on the right path that will get the scale to move. The problem is that if you beat yourself up because the scale didn't move and it causes you to derail from the very things that are eventually going to make the scale move, only because you didn't see it move enough, that means that you probably overlooked any inches that you lost of body fat. You overlooked any increases in strength. You overlooked the ability to sleep better. You overlooked the fact that your body fat percentage might have gone down or that you fit better in your clothing. People overlook all of these data markers that confirm to us that what we are doing is going to be the thing that gets us to where we want to go. But the real problem is that what happens is as soon as you don't get the results as quick as what you hope for, which most often is unrealistic, or you have a tiny little mess up that one day you had some pizza and some chocolate chip cookies that weren't on your diet, or that put you out of alignment with your macro blueprint if you're doing what we do. And instead of just going, oh, it's just one day and moving on, you end up beating yourself up. And the things that you do to beat yourself up are significantly more detrimental to your journey than the mess up itself. So what I'm saying here is that, again, your mindset and your habits matter, not just your meal plan and not just your workout. So if you are overlooking all of these data markers that are the very tools and the very essence of the thing that shows you that what you're doing is working, you're never going to get that momentum that you desire that helps you to fall into that place where you enjoy working out or enjoy getting fit. And this happens all the time because people only focus on one thing when they're getting in shape, or one thing whenever they're building a business, or one thing when they're getting into a relationship. And it's not right. It doesn't work. You don't go into a business and say, like, if I don't make $15,000 a month in the first month, I'm not successful. You set little markers that show you, okay, very first month, I'm going to aim for 1,500 and I hope for 10 customers. Next month, I hope for 15 customers and a little bit more. The point is that somebody who's committed to business because that's something that they desire, if they don't make their first $10,000 a month that first month, they don't beat themselves up and throw away the keys to their business. They simply determine, did they do the right things that month to get another good month or a month that's better, or do they need to change things? This is the way that you must do this on your fitness journey. If you're only focused on the scale, you're never going to be able to get the rewards and the payouts these small wins can bring you. And what I mean by this is, there are so often where we've had clients step on the scale and be disappointed because they were down 2 pounds only. But because they understand the full system, they go through the measurements, the body fat testing, and the photos. And I literally had a client who was bummed out about, I think this individual was down 4 pounds. And he was very bummed out because he worked really hard. And the month before that, we lost a lot more on the scale. So of course, I had been, communicating with him and helping him to understand that the scale is not the only thing. So what I did was I calculated we tracked his body fat. He was down 3% body fat. He only lost 4 pounds. He lost 4 pounds on the scale. Okay. Well, we tested his body fat and we tested lean body mass, and lo and behold, the scale only showed 4 net pounds of loss. But the actual body fat loss was 9 pounds. He lost 5 pounds of body fat, but because he gained 5 pounds of lean body mass, did I say that right? He lost 5 pounds of body fat, gained 5 pounds or 5.5 pounds of lean body mass, and that showed it canceled each other out on the scale. Because the scale doesn't tell you if you've lost fat and build muscle, it only tells you the net, what you're left with. So this person was only down 4 pounds on the scale, but was down a total of 9 pounds of body fat in a matter of 5 weeks. So had this person only been focusing on the scale, for all intents and purposes, he felt like a failure. When he looked at the other data, he realized, oh my gosh, this isn't even a small win, this is a big win. And what that did, that win reinforced every behavior that he put himself out there for that month, and he was willing to do it again. Why? Because he was building now. Instead of your first month, you're trying to build upon no foundation. You don't have wins yet, you're just hoping for them. So his first month, he didn't have a loss. 30 days in, he had his first loss. But this was his second month. And his second month in there, he was hoping for another big loss, and he didn't have it on the scale. But because he built so much muscle, he still lost the same amount of body fat. It just didn't show up on the scale. The reason I'm telling you this is because this is science. And unfortunately, people overlook science because of emotions. And then they try and use science or logic to justify their behaviors that they made using emotion. This is why people don't reach the goals that they want. So my question for you is, if you can relate to this and this makes sense and you're tired of doing the same rat race over and over again, I would absolutely welcome you to take my free fitness alignment quiz to help you to figure out what your best fitness alignment strategy is. So if you go to lancecronecoaching.com/quiz, you can take that strategy quiz, and it is going to give you your free alignment strategy, and it's going to give you a gift as well to kind of teach you a couple of things how to get the needle moving. So if you feel like this has been valuable, if you feel like this resonates with you, be sure to put hashtag value in the comments below and let me know as well what you think and if this resonated. Thank